Hi! Oh, I don't want to show my feet on the internet. I want to talk about the things that I learned from living out of a suitcase for almost a year. So the story begins when I went to go study abroad in Ireland. Wow, I'm talking about studying abroad in Ireland again. I know, it's part of my personality now. So I studied abroad while I was in college, and all I took with me was one checked bag, one carry-on suitcase, and a backpack, because I was going to school so I needed a backpack. The second time was the first job offer I had once I graduated, where I was living in a hotel in a different state each week. With the job, all I brought was a little carry-on sized suitcase and a backpack. So let's talk about study abroad. I absolutely took too much with me, and I learned that pretty quickly once getting there. However, the smartest thing I brought with me was bedding and a towel from home, so that took up most of my checked luggage. The apartment I lived in was furnished, but didn't come with towels or bedding or anything like that. It just had the furniture and like 4 plates and like 4 forks. This was so smart because it allowed me to shower as soon as I got there into my apartment after traveling for basically 12 hours. It also meant I didn't have to stress about finding sheets and pillows the very first day being in a foreign country in a new city that I did not know at all and had never been to before. Like, where would you go to buy sheets? I didn't know. I didn't know where the places were, what they were called. It always ended up being Primark. You just always went to Primark. But it's not called Primark there. It's Pennies. You go to Pennies to get everything that you need for dirt cheap. Wait, this sweater's from Pennies. I bought this when I was there. Pennies, €3. I'm sorry. I'm not. So I mentioned that I brought far too much stuff, but I blame that on the unknown. I had never traveled anywhere for more than like a few days to a week. I have also never been to Ireland, so I didn't know what the weather was going to be like between summer to winter. But I learned very quickly that you can live with like only 4 pairs of pants and be set. Because that's the only thing I think I did right, was that I brought blue jeans, black jeans, gray jeans, and a pair of leggings as my main pants. And you can make any outfit with that, in my opinion. Especially as a student, like, you don't have to get that fancy to go to class. And as a traveler, you gotta pack light. But I brought too many shirts. Like, who did I think I was? A fashionista? No. I could have brought half as many tops and been perfectly fine. Now when I travel, I don't stress about like not bringing enough or not being prepared, because most places that you go, you're able to find basics of any kind. Now obviously, this does not apply to when you're traveling like off the grid or camping. You're gonna want to be prepared because it's gonna be a little bit harder when you're in the middle of the woods or on the top of a mountain to get socks. Because that was the thing. I ended up buying some more stuff while I was studying abroad, and then I had to figure out how was I gonna bring that home. But that limitation of, well, I only got this much space and weight also limited my choices of, do I really need it or do I really love it? And I kind of needed this, and I really loved the other stuff that I got and brought home. I also have a pair of shoes that like I only wear like a handful of times because they're so beautiful, but I loved them so much. And my pair of black boots there, like the sole completely detached from the shoe. So I had to buy new black boots, and I decided if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it good. These are the shoes. They're stunning. They're so comfortable. Look at that tread. I don't wear them too much because now my day-to-day life, I don't really need to wear heeled boots. But I loved them so much, and I kind of needed them, so I made the space for them. As another side note, that kind of travel made me realize that those kind of way too novelty knickknack souvenir shops aren't my vibe, and I'd rather have a sick pair of boots instead of like a little leprechaun. Whatever. Moving on, working out of a suitcase is totally different experience than being a student where everything was casual. Working out of a suitcase is totally different than living in a foreign country for a few months, and I did learn a lot from it. You really can see how little you truly need when you're living out of a hotel, especially. For the job, I wore a uniform, and then everything else I brought from there were pajamas and workout clothes. And I was only ever staying in a hotel for like 6 nights and then moving on to the next one. So I became an outfit repeater, Lizzie McGuire, because when you're going to a different state and a different location every week, meeting new people, you do not need to wear different clothes. I literally spent months living out of one small suitcase because I had like I literally had a uniform I would wear each week, and it was like new and different for each of these new locations. They didn't know that I wore the same pants yesterday at a different school. They don't know that. My only real struggle with that was figuring out how to cook. Most of the places I went had a mini fridge and a microwave in the room, which is super helpful, and most of the schools covered lunch. The hotels typically had a continental breakfast that was included in the stay. So I just had to figure out dinner. So many hotels will allow you to borrow utensils and plates if you ask. So all I brought with me was a cooking knife and a cutting board so that I can chop up vegetables. Other than that, I was sorted. You can cook so much stuff with just a mini fridge and a microwave. Like, you can cook a sweet potato in a microwave. I did that so many times while I was there. It's never gonna be 5-star, but it's still warm. But what did I actually learn? You don't need a lot to be happy and comfortable. With less stuff, I ended up spending a lot less time cleaning and maintaining those things. Like, I barely spent time doing laundry because laundry was simple. I did laundry when I was almost out of clothes. And then I didn't have that much to fold and put away because it was one small load of laundry. This gave me so much more time to do what I really wanted, like see friends or travel and just have fun, do my hobbies, live my life to the fullest. And only having a few things made getting organized and then staying organized so easy. I always thought I was a disorganized mess of a person, but it turns out I just had too many things to organize. And my brain didn't want to do it. But with less stuff, you're like, well, 6 things, that's easy to put away versus 35. And while studying abroad, I found out it's far easier to go on spontaneous weekend trips when you already have a limited closet and limited products to bring with you. That getting packed is so easy. And I became a champion at packing everything I needed for a weekend into a backpack and a purse. And when I say backpack, I mean like a school backpack. Not like a backpacker backpack. Like something that could maybe only hold 2 textbooks and a planner. And when you know everything that you have and where it all is, it's so much easier to get packed. It's just simple. That whole year of doing those 2 experiences really taught me to reflect on the things that are truly important to me. Now I'm less concerned with the need to indulge in excessive consumerism because of the money and the time that it takes to maintain all of that. And I would rather use all that money and time to do what I want. And I don't want to do laundry. Overall, it was a good experience, and I think it's something that everyone should try to do. Both of those experiences were good to get me out of my comfort zone, not only with regard to how much I packed and how much consumerism really was a part of my life as a teenager, but also that was the first time in my life where I spent a lot of time by myself. So I really had to learn to hang out with me and really enjoy me time and quiet time. It was good. It was something different than anything else I had ever done before, because I'd come from living in a townhome with 7 other roommates in only a 4-bedroom townhome. So that was a lot of noise and a lot of commotion than to being alone in hotels for months. But trying something new opens your eyes to other experiences, other perspectives, and that's something I think everybody should do. Go travel if you can. I think travel is so eye-opening. There's so much beauty here. You can learn a lot about yourself, but this opened up my eyes to a whole new way of life, and I was able to take a lot of experiences and things I learned about myself and the outside world back home with me and integrate it into my everyday life. Okay, cool. Bye.